It looks like a sun with 8 orange spikes like flashes, as well as a yellow circle with a happy face. Interesting facts. Like Orin and Reddy, he is based on a character from a series inspired by the sun from the amazing world of Gamble. Mr. Sun makes piano sounds, that's how it sounds. In the horror version, he looks the same as before, only darker to match the horror style, and his face has turned into a giant eye. Interesting facts. Mr. Sun's gaze syncs with Mr. Funny Computer in horror mode when Mr. Funny Computer says, "Look around." Mr. Sun, like Mr. Tree, are a completely different species compared to other Sprunkies. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Derpal is a purple dragon with 2 long, dark purple horns on its head and 2 dark purple fin-shaped ears on both sides of its head. Interesting facts about Derpal. Reddy and Derpal are not related. He is Simon's best friend. His favorite color is purple. He makes the sound of a brass and string orchestra. That's how it sounds. In the horror version, Derpal is similar to his usual version, but with a darker shade of horror. Derpal matches the sound of Mr. Tree as in the horror version, although you may hear Derpal more often than Mr. Tree. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Mr. Tree looks like a cartoon tree with bright green leaves and a brown trunk and a happy face. Facts about Mr. Tree. Mr. 3 is over 50 years old. He can move, but it will take some time. He makes the sound of an organ musical instrument. That's how it sounds. In the horror version of Mr. The Tree is a variant of its usual grayscale shape with a poster of an unknown woman. In horror mode, the old Mr. 3 sound is perfectly synchronized with the Derpal pipe. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Simon is a yellow creature with 2 cone-shaped horns on both sides of his head, 2 straight antennae, and a tuft on top of his head. His mouth smiles slightly. Facts about Simon. Simon and Orin are not related, but good friends. He makes noises. An 8-bit synthesizer, that's how it sounds. In the horror version, Simon's appearance is mostly similar to his usual appearance, but his color has noticeably dimmed and darkened. The horror version of Simon could get a new design. This is due to the fact that Simon looks more stupid than scary. But a recent survey confirmed that Simon most likely will not receive an updated design, mainly due to the cancellation of the mod. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Tanner has a calm expression, a brown fedora hat, and 4 sideburns hanging down on each side of his face. The sideburns are actually ears, and he has 2 pairs of them on each side. Tanner has 4 ears in total. He makes a sound, whistling. That's how it sounds. In the horror version, Tanner has a hole in his hat. Most likely someone shot him with a gun. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Mr. Fun Computer is a computer that turns red while standing on a brown table with a lone cable hanging under it. Mr. Fun Computer is the smallest character in the game, except for the table with his body. He makes a sound like that. In the horror version, Mr. Fun Computer has a scary face image on the screen. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Venda looks very much like a cat. Venda does purr, but according to the creator, this happens very rarely. These are the sounds she makes. In the horror version, Wenda has a very sinister smile and blood on her body. Maybe she is someone, or just stood there. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Pinky is a pink bunny-like Sprunki with a purple bow on her head. She also has purple eyelids. Pinky and Veneria are close friends. These are the sounds she makes. In the horror version, Pinky's face is torn apart. This wound was inflicted by Wenda, who tore off her face. That's how it sounds in the horror version. Jevin appears as a blue character in a dark blue robe. You will never see how Kevin smiles, despite the fact that he is kind and knows how to smile. These are the sounds he makes. In the horror version, Jevin's appearance has not changed much, just his face has become darker. But these are the sounds he makes in horror mode. He is a completely black Sprunki with no visible mouth, wearing a top hat of the same color as his body, and with a white tie. He is also the most secretive character of all the Sprunks. He is the only original character who does not appear in normal mode, as his placement instantly puts you in horror mode. Black is the only character without an official name. It looks like a Sprunki without any noticeable accessories. He is slightly taller and slimmer than others Sprunki. He has a noticeably more distorted human-like face, which is hidden in darkness and shown only in black and white. Black's old sprite had eyes under his face, which means that his old sprite was created based on an even older sprite that can be seen in the gallery section. That's how it sounds in the horror version.